Welcome everyone to the Outdoor Equity Grants Program Application Process Overview. What is the Outdoor Equity Grants Program? The OEP's intent is to increase the ability of residents in underserved communities to participate in outdoor experiences within their community, at state parks, and other public lands. So here you'll notice this is the Outdoor Equity Grants Program, which we call OEP webpage. On this webpage, you will notice that there is $50 million available for round 2. We are accepting applications until the deadline of December 14th, 2023. Scrolling down, there are 5 tabs. One of the tabs is the application process, which is here. This provides guidance on the actual application process. Scrolling down is the grant administration tab. This tab has information regarding the grant administration process. This process is only if the grant is awarded. This information is helpful, particularly the Outdoor Equity Grants Program Administration Guide, because it provides grant contract and insurance requirements, payment requests, accounting, and audits examples. The grant award list lists all of the grants that were awarded for round 1. The next tab has the press releases that has information about round 1 and also the most recent round 2 announcement. Last but not least is the OEP program history tab, and this provides how OEP was established, and that was by AB 209. And also all of the round 1 applications that were received and the grant awards that were announced in May of 2022. So going back up to the application process tab again, which is right here, we will go more in depth within this tab. So starting off, we will go to the grant application guide. So you'll click on the grant application guide and it will pull up this guide. So scrolling down, I will take you to the table of contents. This is on page 5. And this lists the program overview, also the application package. These are all of the items that you'll need to create your application. Also eligible costs and technical assistance. So scrolling down to the program overview, this provides information on the eligible applicants, the amount available, the grant amount available per application, which is $700,000 for maximum and $20,000 for minimum. There is no match requirement for this application. So scrolling down to page 8 is the community home base. And so this particular grant relies on an applicant to pick a community home base. And so that community home base is when you identify that central gathering place in an underserved community that needs access to outdoor programs. And so to go down to the next page here, this provides a great diagram of what we need by identifying that community home base. Because this is where participants will have activities at or near that community home base. and also where they're going to be taken from and brought to natural area destinations. So again, on page 8 and 9 of the community homepage is discussed for those 2 pages. So moving on down the program overview, it talks about the application process. And then we get to the application package itself. On page 13 here, you'll notice all of the checklist items. So there's 9 checklist items. I'm going to particularly call your attention to grant selection criteria. This is checklist item number 2. These are the questions that the application will be scored on. And so moving down, we'll go past checklist item number 1. And then we're here at that grant selection criteria number 2. And there are 8 questions that applicants need to answer within this grant selection criteria checklist item 2. Again, you'll see the maximum score is 100 points. All applications start with 0 points, and points are gained through the grant selection criteria. So we recommend that applicants strive to get as many points as possible and to let this criteria section conceptualize the program. So going into more detail here, you'll notice that each criteria has the questions here at the beginning, and then the scoring rubrics are listed below. And so you can see how many points are listed for each criteria. In addition, at the end of the scoring rubrics, technical assistance is available at the back of this guide, and a page is listed here. So again, for selection criteria 2, you'll notice again, here's all of the questions, and then the scoring rubric, and then the technical assistance with the page number listed. So going back to criteria number 1, for this particular one, for criteria number 1A, we use the Community Fact Finder. And so you'll be able to click on this link. And for this particular link, it will bring you here. What you'll do is you'll enter your address of your community home base. And just for this, I'm going to put in the address of the state capitol to show Community Fact Finder. So when you put in your address, this will pop up. And for this particular criteria 1A, we want to know the median household income, which you'll find here. People in poverty, which you'll find here. Free reduced price meals, which you'll find the percentage here. And for English learners, you'll find the percentage here. So those you'll see correspond with here, where I just mentioned the median household income, people in poverty, free or reduced price meals, and English learners. So going through here, we ask about community planning. We ask about those activities in the community. Those again will be around that community home base within a 5-mile radius. Again, you'll see the scoring rubric and that technical assistance page. Criteria 4 are those natural area trips will be outside of that 5-mile radius of the community home base. Again, scoring rubrics, technical assistance. And again, with participant recruitment plan, internships, partnerships, and mentoring youth leaders after the grant performance period. And that will end your criteria checklist item number 2. So again, these kind of moving through here are all the other checklist items that you will need to fill out and submit with your application. So I will run down all of these until we get to the eligible costs. And this is on page 41. So you'll want to look through all of these pages to see what is eligible to be charged to the grant. On page 46 is the ineligible cost list. These are items that cannot be charged to the grant. So you'll want to familiarize yourself with those as well. And then moving on to the next page on 48 here is all the technical assistance that's available for applicants. And so we talk about our workshops that will be coming available, and also all the different access to competitive project officers, leadership training, etc. Also, technical assistance is provided here. Each criteria that we had gone through has its own technical assistance page. So before, just to remind you, when we were going through the criteria, at the end of scoring rubrics, there's the technical assistance and that page number. So that's what we mean by that. So you'll go back towards the end here. And so each criteria has its own corresponding technical assistance page. So you'll want to read through all of these as well. And then last but not least, we have the definitions section. So all words and in terms in small caps within this guide are defined terms. And you'll want to familiarize yourself with those terms as well. And so they are all listed here in the definition section. And that is the end of the guide. So we will go back to the web page. And you'll notice on the web page, again, we list information about the maximum and minimum grant requests, eligible applicants. Also coming soon, we're going to have application resources. We will have a timeline, a competitive chart. There's that community fact finder tool again that you'll use for criteria 1A. Also, those checklist items, they will also be available soon in fillable application forms. So you'll be able to use these to fill in your information. Again, the application workshops that I had mentioned previously, they are going to be conducted via online and also in person throughout select cities in California. We will be posting those soon, and you'll be able to RSVP for those workshops. So going back up to the top of this tab is we're going to click here. So this is to be used to submit your online application. So you're going to click and it's going to pop up another page. And then you'll want to click submit application. And this will pop up a page that gives you instructions and information about the application online process. Couple bullet points to keep in mind here is that the person who starts the application is called the owner. Only the owner is able to see and click the blue submit button, which will ultimately submit your application. Owners can invite other team members to collaborate on the application. And if you click here, it goes into in-depth on how to do that. One thing that to keep in mind, you could always upload items and save it into this online system. Only click that blue submit button when it's ready to submit. The thing to keep in mind is that to familiarize yourself with this system early on, what is not advised is to click on this online application the day of the deadline. We do not recommend that. We want you to be familiar with this online process earlier in your process. So please do that. Okay, so going back to the application process tab. Now, once you've looked at this video, you've read through the application guide, you've read through the application resources, and the application workshops once they're available. If you still have questions, please reach out to your competitive project review officer. We are here to help you. To find that person, you're going to click here. And this pops up a list by county of your project officers. You'll want to notice that your competitive project officer is located here in the green section. So these are the project officers that you will want to contact. So you'll look at your county, you'll look at your corresponding project officer in green, and you'll contact them that way. So that ends the quick overview of the Outdoor Equity Grants Program application process. And thank you very much for watching.